countdown to birth. This week marks 36 weeks, which means that I'm in my last month of pregnancy. I can't believe it's got here so quickly, but it's all very exciting now. So the last 2 weeks have included going to my birth planning appointment with the midwife, where she went through absolutely everything that might happen with the birth and whether I'm open to various different things. I felt a bit mean because there was actually a student midwife who was taking the appointment along with my midwife. And when they said, would you like student midwives to be present? I had to say no because of my hypnobirthing practice and just wanting as minimal amount of people as possible in the room. So I felt a bit bad because I was actually having to say that to her, but she was lovely and understanding. So since that appointment, I've put together my own birth plan. Now, I've put together a template which is available to any of my existing clients or people that are going to be booking onto my courses. So basically, I've been and put this together, and basically there's different sections. So I've got kind of like my general information, my due date, my chosen place of birth, which is home, and then I've got my birth partner's details on there and his telephone number, and basically at the top just to say if I've got any medical conditions, which I don't have. And I've then got an overview of my birth. So I plan to birth at home in water and with as little intervention as possible, and I'm open to transfer to the MLU or to the hospital. And just things like, please use the word surge rather than contraction. And the main thing for me is that I feel calm and comfortable and confident to birth my baby at home. And just to remind the midwives that I am hypnobirthing and that my partner and I would like to be left alone as much as possible. So things like the birthing environment, I've got a section down here where I've filled out everything to do with the 5 senses that I've spoken about before. So sight, I'd like the dim lights and my own fairy lights, and my birth affirmation cards to be placed in a place that I can see, and then those items to be taken in if I do have to be transferred. Sound, so listening to the music that I want to, the smell, so using the lavender spray that I've been practicing with before. Taste, so I plan to eat and drink as normal throughout labour to keep up my energy levels. And touch, so to be able to wear my own clothes, and just mention that I'm going to wear like a kind of like bralette thing to go into the pool itself. And I'd like to be able to use my own birthing ball and TENS machine. So also mentioning that any monitoring, so if midwife wants to listen into baby, because they'll do that quite a lot, not to ask me each time, can she listen in, just to go in and listen in so she doesn't break my zone. If I had to go in and be transferred and have continuous monitoring, then I'd like to have a wireless monitor so that I can stay as active as possible. And then a very important section is pain relief. So in capital letters, I've written, please do not offer to me. It's very important to me that, you know that I'm allowed to have pain relief, but it will be me asking for it. And not them offering and planting a little seed in my mind of, oh, do I need this now? So that's really important. I've said that I'm open to have gas and air, but again, I will ask for that at the time. I've said that I don't want to have a managed 3rd stage, so I don't want an injection for the placenta delivery. I don't want to introduce any drugs at that point into my system. And just to remind me of my breathing techniques and MP3 tracks and everything, because I'll kind of be replacing the pain relief with that. So I've kept it quite, to 2 pages, which I think is a good idea. So then another section is positions for labour and birth. So I do not want to be lying on my back, so that's important and at the top. And I'd like to be upright and forward as possible. Things like I'll be leaning over my birthing ball, any furniture at home, and when I'm in the pool I'll kind of want to lean over and staying in that upright and forward position, or being on all fours. Birthing baby, so I don't want to be coached into any pushing. I want to be able to breathe my baby down and just go with what my body is doing, and I achieved this with my last birth, so I know it is achievable, so I want them to know that. And obviously I'm planning a home birth, so I would like to have the baby in the pool at home if possible. So then I've got a section which is going on to the MLU or the labour ward. So this is if I am transferred, then this is what I would like. So I'd still like to be able to use the birthing pool, because I might not be being transferred if there's a problem. I might just feel like I would feel more comfortable going in there, and you know, if I have a wobble or something, I just feel like I want to. So the birthing pool is still an option, so I'd like to go wherever I could. To be able to have the same environment set up as at home, so that's the fairy lights, the affirmation cards and everything. So that will be taken with us and taken into the hospital. As few people as possible, no students present. Sorry, students. For it to be kept as quiet as possible, so any communication will go through my birth partner and not through me, just so that I can kind of stay in my zone and remain really focused. And I don't wish to be cannulated unless absolutely necessary. So moving on to the third stage, I would like baby to be put on my chest straight away and have what they call kind of like the golden hour, where you have that skin to skin and you have that oxytocin flowing, which is going to help to birth the placenta and get breastfeeding established. When I had my last baby, I had a bit of a long third stage, and I kind of I was feeling a little bit stressed and had to move from place to place to try and birth the placenta, which is not what I really was wanting to be doing. But they took the baby off me and gave to my birth partner. So I feel like if I'd had that oxytocin flowing, then maybe it would have been a bit easier. So I'm going to keep baby and make sure I keep hold of him this time for that good hour. So I'd like a physiological third stage. So I'd like the placenta to be obviously birthed naturally without the drugs in my system. I'd also like delayed cord clamping, and I'm happy for my baby to have the vitamin K injection. So that's all important things that they would find to ask me. And then at the bottom here I've got a section which is about assisted delivery and unplanned cesarean, because you know, this is quite common and this could happen if I did have to be transferred. So I'd like them to know what my wishes were if that were to arise. So I would just say that for an assisted delivery, I'd rather not rush into things unless they're absolutely necessary, you know, regarding my health or the health of the baby. Then obviously that's fine. And for an unplanned C-section, I would like to do the same if possible as having a natural birth. So I'd like baby to be put onto my chest before their cord is clamped, and you know, before they're cleaned off or anything, so I've got that initial skin to skin contact. I'd like delayed cord clamping. I'd like dim lighting up near my head so that when baby's born they're still in a calming environment. And I'd also like to listen to my hypnobirthing tracks. Now this is obviously if it's not an emergency. And if there's still time, I'd like the opportunity to seed my baby with the bacteria which stimulates the microbiome development. So this happens naturally if you have a vaginal birth, so it's just basically taking those natural bacteria and putting them onto the baby, because obviously they're coming up through the sunroof, so they don't get that. So that's pretty much it. So if anybody would like this template emailed to them, then I can send it to you. It all seems very real and exciting to actually produce that document. And so I've actually produced 3 of those, just because if I'm at home or going into a different place, then there might be more than one midwife, and it's just good for them to be able to have that to read through it. So what else have I been doing over the last 2 weeks? So on Sunday, I set up my home birth pool, which was really exciting. I'm going to just put a little time-lapse video in the middle of this video now. quite surreal, clearing out my dining room and having the birth pool actually there and having a practice. I bought like a little sort of compressor pump from Lidl Middle, amazing, it was like £5. And I blew the pool up in about 7 minutes. I then, as you can see from the video, had my Grow Anywhere blind, which is up in my daughter's room in summer, to cover up the dining room door because it's very bright from a conservatory on the other side. So that created that dimly lit space. And then I put up some birth affirmations and my twinkly lights and shut all the curtains up and just shut the world away. And as soon as I did it, I kind of got this really like lovely relaxed feeling, and even my partner said, oh wow, this just like feels really relaxing and really like just normal. This is where you're going to have the baby, I think. And as soon as I'd done it, that's how I felt as well. So I was really, really pleased about that. And I think, oh, I just can't wait now. I'm so excited. We didn't do a wet run because it is literally so much water, and to be honest, we wanted to go and have a nap instead. So we're just going to go with it on the day. But we know that it's really easy to set up and put up. And to be honest, it'll be his responsibility to fill it and keep it warm. I won't have to be worrying about that. So I didn't mind too much. So we'll just go with that on the day. I have also been prepping my birth bag this week as well. So I borrowed like a suitcase actually off my friend, one that opens with both sides, so that I got one side for me and one side for baby. And I've been packing that along with my partner and explaining what disposable pants are and why you need those. So we've packed it together so he knows where everything is. I can't really remember what I had in before as far as kind of clothes to come home if I do have to go to hospital. I think I just wore kind of like pyjamas or leggings or something. So I need to think about that. I've got everything for the baby all washed and ready, and all the bits and pieces for me. I think it's just a case of all the things that you're using constantly that you obviously need to gather those up to be able to put into your bag, like my room spray and that kind of thing. So as you can see today, I'm actually in the boys' room, which I call it now. So I wasn't going to do any kind of nursery or decorating or anything. I was just going to have baby in with me and then just pop the cot in, you know, once he could go in. And then I got that crazy nesting. And I bought this lovely cot from my friend in this gorgeous mint colour, and that kind of just started everything off. So I've been creating this mountain mural on the wall, which actually was quite easy to do. It's just literally like masked off. I got 3 pots of those Valspar paint pots from B&Q. So the whole wall literally cost me about £9 to do. So that was really good. And then I went into Dunelm yesterday to have a little look, and they had this, as you can see, there's like a coverlet on the cot there in the mint, and it was all super cheap and reduced. So I got curtains, bunting and coverlet. Excuse the dog barking downstairs. And it's lovely. It's like that lovely colour, that lovely mint colour. So I'll be putting bits and pieces up. So that's been really nice. But today I'm also painting a rainbow on my daughter's wall because she doesn't want to feel left out and can't understand why I've been painting in the boys' room for the baby and for Teddy. So I agreed to paint a rainbow on her wall, not to leave her out. So I digress. Anyway, so my hypnobirthing practice, I feel like I am really, really ready as far as the practice goes. I feel like I can get into a really, really relaxed state, and I'm just using any opportunity to practice counting down into my relaxing place. So I had my hair done yesterday, and my friend came and did my blonde locks, and I had a lovely blow dry, and oh, it was so relaxing, and I used that to be able to do my countdown to my relaxing place, and she said that I was nearly falling asleep. So it's just finding opportunities in your day to be able to practice that countdown and be able to get into that relaxed state in a quick way. Most nights before bed, I've been reading various different things, and I just feel like I go to bed every night now kind of excited, hoping, you know, for when that time comes of when those surges start or whatever. Both babies, I've gone into labour at about 3 o'clock in the morning and sort of woken up with light surges. So as it becomes closer, it's becoming really, really exciting, and just discussing it with my partner, I'm really, really excited to have that birthing experience with him, and he's very calming to me, and I'm just really enjoying the practice, to be honest. So I'll just be keeping that up because, you know, practice makes perfect, and I'm sure it will all, you know, kind of click into place. I haven't got that kind of fear that I've had previously. I know that when they start again and you remember what they're like from before, it might sort of send you off on a little bit of a wobble, but I know that my birth partner will bring me back into a state of calm very, very easily, because he's done so much of the practice with me, so that's great. So a little bump update, big bump update. I'm quite close to the camera there, so it seems to be quite low. He is head down. When I went to the midwife, I've got one of those little poppy out belly buttons now. So he's in the right position, so that's great. And I've had a few funny comments over the last couple of weeks. The lady in Tesco's who was serving me, she thought I had a ginormous bump, and she thought that I should go for a scan to check to see that I'm not actually, you know, got my dates wrong. And I said, no, it's absolutely fine. It's completely normal. You get some negative comments and then you get some positive ones, and it's so lovely when you see a friend and they stop you in the street and they just want to touch your bump and they think you look beautiful and blossoming. So I think it's more important to concentrate on those people than on the people who will just say negative things to you. So finishing up, it's my last hypnobirthing group tomorrow. So we started last Saturday. I had 7 lovely couples teaching at the Boathouse in Paignton, so that was really lovely to have such a nice big group to kind of end before maternity leave. So I'll be teaching them the second half of my course tomorrow, and then just kind of preparing for the birth and preparing to, you know, obviously wind down the kind of business for a couple of months, but, you know, like I've said before, I can take on private clients, and if people want to be booking on, then after a few good weeks, then I'll be looking at taking bookings on again. And I've booked in for September and October in Paignton and in Plymouth, so over that summer period you can actually book onto those courses whilst I'm going to be off with baby. So it's all very exciting. And 2 weeks time, obviously I'll be 38 weeks, so hopefully I will get to that point, and we'll see how I'm feeling then. But thanks for listening, everybody, and I hope you have a